Alright, hold on a second. Let me turn on the light. Alright, there we go. Welcome to the Zombies tier list video, the only correct one. Basically, I see everybody's posting their own video, and I was like, you know, dude, I'm hopping on this trend, because why not? A bunch of Zombies YouTubers started doing these tier list videos, and then I think Lexify started reacting to them, so I was like, you know, I'm going to do my own and say my own opinions on it. So, here it is. The tier video. Obviously, you have X, which is I haven't played, / no opinion. I kept all the tiers the same, basically, how it was. X meaning I haven't played or no opinion on it. Mostly, I'm just going to put it as haven't played. F being painful, E being bad, D being lackluster, C being average, B being good, A being great, and S being near perfect. So we're going to try to spread some of these maps out. I'm just going to go in order on when the maps came out, and hopefully they don't have like repeats like some tier list videos do. They have like 3 different knocks from What It Were, BO1 and BO3. I'm like, I don't feel like ranking all of them separately, so I'm just going to do the best version of the map. So for first one's knocked. Obviously I'm going to put this in average. I'm going to be honest here. I think it's just an average bare bones map, not much you can do. Obviously in Black Ops 3 you have the Gobblegums in the Wonder Fizz machine, which makes it 10 times better, but other than that, it's the smallest map in Zombies, I think. I don't think it is, actually. I think Bus Depot is smaller, but it's the map that started Zombies. Like, it's the first map that ever exists. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a little higher praise, but I think overall it's an average map. World at War, I thought the map was terrible because of how slow everything was. BO1 made it a little better, and plus you had like Mule Kick on the map. BO3 I think is the best version of this map because of the whole Wonder Fizz and Gobblegum machine that makes it like playable in my opinion. But overall it's an average map, not much you can say about it. So yeah, besides the fact that it's the first map ever. I should probably say that I'm just going to be ranking these maps based on my personal thoughts. I'm not going to rank it on gameplay, how good the Easter egg is, or how bad the Easter. I mean, I'll put those factors in it, but I'm not going to be like, I'm just going to say on my opinion. I'm not going to say what everyone else thinks. So yeah, next map is Verruckt. Where are you at? Oh, there it is. Alright. Verruckt, I think, is also an average map. It's actually, I think, one of the most underrated maps. People don't like it because it's challenging, and I love the setting of this map. It's like an insane asylum, kind of. In World at War, it was the first map to introduce perks and a power system. And in Black Ops 1, they introduced the Winter's Howl. And of course added Mule Kick to the map. And I think Black Ops 3, I don't think they brought back the Winter's Howl, but they brought the Wonder Waff, and I think maybe the Thunder Gun in this map. I think it's the Wonder Waff. But basically it's a very tight map. They introduced perks, which was Quick Revive, Jug, Speed, and Double Tap. I think the best version of this map, I'm going to say it's Black Ops 1. I think the Wonder Fizz, I don't know if the Wonder Fizz is in BO3 for Rocks, but I know Gobblegums are, and I think Gobblegums make this map a little bit too easy than it's supposed to be. I think this map's supposed to be like a challenging map, and I think that's the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, I'm putting it in the average. Not much to really say about it besides the fact that it's a challenging map. Shino Numa. Where are you at? Shino Numa. I'm going to be honest, I think it's a lackluster map. I never really enjoyed playing on this map. I don't know why. I don't like the layout of it. I think it was the first map to introduce the Wonder Weapon. Because I know What at War and Noct had the ray gun, but I wouldn't count them as introducing whatever. But I think it was introduced a second wonder weapon. I think it introduced a wonder wasp. It had the randomized perk spawns, which I thought kind of stinks. It also introduced hellhounds. Honestly, I never really played this map much. I never was a fan of this map. I always liked Verruckt and Derice better than this map. I think it's a lackluster map. World of War especially is, I think, really buggy and terrible. There's like high round attempts on it. And when it came out for Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3, I never really like played it. I just played all the other maps. So, yeah. And then last of the World at War maps is Derice. I might be blind here. Hold on a second. I think I might be blind. Does giant count? Oh, no, here it is. Alright. Derice is a good map. I would put it in great, but honestly, I think it's a good map. I'm not going to put it in great. It was the first to introduce the Pack-a-Punch machine, and then the whole teleporter system. Honestly, I think a lot of people say this map started zombies, but I think this map really started zombies because it has all the core essentials you need for a zombies map. It's got the Pack-a-Punch machine, it's got the powers, it's got the 4 perks. It does have the wonder wasp. I don't think it introduced a new wonder weapon, but the layout, it's a good beginner's zombie map, I guess you can say. If you were to hop on zombies for the first time, Derice will be the perfect zombies map for you to play because it's so casual and chill. And then obviously you got the catwalk. You got, I think, maybe a very small but challenging training areas. Honestly, it's a classic. You can't go wrong with it. So yeah. Keno. It's basically a Derice clone. I've seen a lot of people say lately that it's overrated, and I've always kind of said that from the start. I heard, I'm not sure if it's true, but this map was supposed to be in World at War, but obviously it was put in Black Ops 1. This is basically a copy of Derice, except instead of 3 teleporters, it's 1 teleporter. You got a link, and they introduced a thunder gun and the Nova Crawlers. Nova Crawlers I've always hate on this map, but the thunder gun is probably one of the best wonder weapons of all time, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's in good. I think if the thunder gun wasn't in this map, it would be an average, but because of the thunder gun, I think it's a good map. I definitely do agree that people are definitely like thinking it's one of the best maps of all time, but I think it's just the setting of it wasn't really that crazy. So yeah. Next up is 5. I'm going to be honest, I think this is also a good map. A lot of people hate this map because it's way too challenging, but I think that's the way. It's similar to Verruckt. I think it's supposed to be that way. I think that's how it's supposed to be played. The setting of this map is amazing. You're in a Pentagon. I think you're in the office, and then the war room, and then the laboratories, which is amazing. The cast on this map is also really great, or amazing, I should say, too. You have JFK, you have Fidel Castro, you have Richard Nixon, and then the other guy, I forgot his name. They introduced, I think this map was really the introduction to Nova Crawlers, because it makes sense on this map, but this map, it doesn't. I don't know. They have Hellhounds, Nova Crawlers, the Wonder Weapon, the Winter's Howl, unfortunately sucks, so that's a thing. The Pentagon Thief, although he is annoying, but if you kill him, he rewards you with a bonfire sale, which I think, I could be wrong, this is the only map for the bonfire sale to appear on, which allows you to pack a bunch any gun for 1,000 points, which is really good. So yeah, a lot of people hate on this map because they say it's too tight and too challenging, but I think that's the way the map is. I think it's supposed to be a challenging map, and I've always loved this map. I think it's also, I think this map is one of the most underrated maps of all time, and I think they give it too much hate. Next up is Ascension. I'm going to put it in great. I definitely do, or good. I definitely do think it's better than 5 in Derice. this is the first DLC for Black Ops 1. I'm going to be honest, I hated this map when it came out, but as I played it, I kind of think this map is better. I think it's the first map to introduce an Easter egg. It brought back the Thunder Gun. I don't think it introduced a new wonder weapon, but it did bring in PhD Flopper and Stamina, which is two of the best perks ever. They also introduced monkeys, which is one of the reasons why I always hated this map, because for solos they are a pain to defend against. Basically, it's just like a dog round where every 5 rounds or so, monkeys come in from outer space and they steal your perks. As in, like, you have to they go towards a perk that you own, and they take it down, and you could lose your perk. So basically, if you're playing solos, you can defend one perk, and that's it. The monkeys are going to take all the other perks away, so you kind of have to, like, I don't know. Solos is kind of tough to do. Co-op, it's really fun. And I think this is also the map that had the first Easter egg, which you blow up the rocket. So honestly, I think it's a good map. So that's all. Honestly, all I'm going to say. Next map is Shangri-La. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but I think it's just an average map. I definitely do think it's better than Verruckt. I never really got into this map. They didn't introduce a new perk. They did introduce a new wonder weapon, which was the baby gun, where you turn zombies into babies. They didn't introduce a new perk. They brought back the monkeys, but I don't know if there was a dedicated round for them. Plus, they only came in to steal your power-ups, but people use them as like an advantage, where if you get a power-up to drop, you can wait for a monkey, then the monkey can change it to like anything you want. So all you have to do is watch the power-up get changed to either a max hammer or a perk bottle, and then you can kill the monkey to get it. Honestly, and then they had the special zombies, the Napalm and the Shriekers. The Napalm was basically like a slow but yet burning and explosive zombie that if you kill it, he explodes or whatever. And then the Shrieker, which was a fast zombie that kind of just visibly disrupts your screen. So yeah, honestly, I never really played this map much. I never really enjoyed it. I think it's also one of the hardest maps. I think this is the hardest map of all time. So it's probably one reason why I never really played it. I honestly only played the Black Ops 1 version of this map. I never played Black Ops. There's only 2 freaking versions of this map. What are we talking about? I never played BO3, but I've only played it on BO1, and I've honestly never played it much, so I think it's just an average map. Next up, after Shangri-La, it's what? Oh, shoot, I forgot. Call of the Dead. No, Shangri-La's third. What am I saying? Call of the Dead. I think it's a good map. I don't think it's better than Ascension. I forgot to rank Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead came out before Shangri-La. This is the second DLC. I think it was at the time the largest map in the game. It introduced a really good cast, and you kind of see a pattern going on with at least one DLC map every Zombies game. I think this map started that pattern. Basically, it's a George Romero. The intro starts off as a George Romero film, and George himself is in the map as a boss zombie. He is filming a zombies film. He has Michael Rooker, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer actress. I forgot her name. I think it's Sarah something. They had Freddy Krueger himself, Robert Englund, and had Machete, Danny Trejo as the cast, as the playable characters on the map, which is amazing. However, I never really enjoyed the map. They introduced 2 wonder weapons on it. One of them probably being the worst wonder weapon ever, and the other one being like an average wonder weapon. And plus a one-of-a-kind wonder weapon, I should add that. The George Romero boss is extremely annoying, but kind of rewarding if you kill him. You get like a Wonder Wolf power-up death machine thing. He was there to kind of disrupt campers, which I'm like, that's kind of dumb, to be honest. The setting of this map is decent, but the fog and like the color of this map, I never got into. It was just all gray and crap. And I was like, whatever. I don't really care. They also introduced Deadshot Daiquiri, which is, I think, probably the worst perk in Black Ops 1 and probably worthless in PC. So honestly, this map just, I never really liked it, but I'm gonna say it's a good map because, you know, a lot of people, I had fun on this map, but I don't think it's great or near perfect, and I definitely would play, actually I would play 5 in Ascension over it. So yeah. Next up is Moon. I'm gonna get on hate, but I think Moon is a perfect, not near perfect, yeah, I would say it's a near perfect map. It's a setting that's just, I think, crazy in my opinion. You're on the moon. You actually, the starting room I think is the best starting room of all time. I don't think any other starting room will beat it. And no, I'm not talking about the starting room on the moon. I'm talking about Area 51 starting room, where you spawn in an Area 51. You have Pack-a-Punch right in front of your eyes, and then you have either Jug or Speed Cola. And the zombies are coming up from the ground, they just whatever. But if you stay there long enough, the zombies get harder and they run faster. And the rounds never end there. It's legit a time area. So you can stay there for like 12 minutes with endless zombies, getting enough points to upgrade your weapons, get Jug and all that. And then you can go to the starting room and start round 1 with Jug and a Pack-a-Punched pistol, Mustang and Sally's. I think this is the largest, bigger than Call. I think this was the largest map. Introduced the wave gun. It introduced Mule Kick, which became a perk that you can get in all the other maps. I think the astronaut is a pretty decent boss. I think it's same thing as George Romero, kind of annoying, easier to kill, but not as rewarding as Romero. He is kind of annoying, especially, but I think that's the point of it. I think he's supposed to be like a scary kind of guy that you gotta run away from, especially when you're trying to run through a doorway and he's right there. Honestly, I thought this map was a near perfect map. I had a lot of fun on it. It's a unique map. I don't think we're ever gonna get another map like this again. So yeah. Next up was Black Ops 2. I'm gonna rate all the smaller maps. Where's Brest Depot? It's a bad map. Actually, I'm going to put it in painful. It's basically knocked, but Black Ops 2. Never really played on it, and plus it has lava in it. Farm, I'm going to say it's a bad map. It's just like Shino Numa and Verruckt, but smaller, and honestly that map's kind of boring. Town, where are you at? Town. It's a great map. No, it's not. I'm going to put it in good. It's basically just another really good beginners map to play on. It's basically just a small area, 2 box locations, 5 or 6 perks that you can get, as well as a Pack-a-Punch in the middle with lava surrounding it. It's a pretty good map, and at the time I definitely played it over Transit. So speaking of Transit, it's probably a really, no, I'm gonna put it in bad. I don't think it's painful, but I think it's bad. The only reason why I think it's not painful is because when you play it with friends, it's the most fun experience you can get, especially when one of your friends got left behind in the bus. And it's just, playing with friends, this map makes it better, but it's still a bad map. The denizens suck on this map. Tombstone sucks on this map. And I think that was the reason why they added Tombstone, because the area Transit was so big that they knew if somebody went down, they weren't getting revived. So I think they added Tombstone to counter that. Denizen sucked. The Avogadro kind of sucked. The Wonder Weapon, probably the worst Wonder Weapon ever. And you can't forget about the Fog. It prevents players from... The Denizens and the Fog kind of prevent players from exploring the map. So, and I heard getting in... The Easter egg sucked, I heard. And getting Pack-a-Punch is probably the most painful experience ever. So, yeah. It's a bad map, but playing with friends, I think, makes it a better experience than playing solo. So, yeah. Next map is Die Rise. It's definitely a lackluster map. I would play it over Transit. I actually really liked this map when it first came out. I don't think it deserves all the hate it's getting now. Although, actually, no, I take back that statement. I definitely do think it deserves all the hate because this map was, it's a concept basically. So, it's instead of making these maps big horizontally, they decided to make like a vertical, add like a vertical kind of map. So this is what Die Rise was. They introduced Who's Who. Again, another. I honestly think Who's Who is probably the worst perk ever before BO4 existed, by the way. It was such a pointless perk, so I never understood why they added that. But this map, I think, needed PhD Flopper in order to be a good map. I think this map could have been up here, but since PhD Flopper was teased and not in the actual map at all, makes it a really bad map. The Jumpin' Jacks, which is a copy of the Nova 6 crawlers, are back in this map, except they jump around and stuff. Honestly, the Easter egg I heard sucked for this map too. I also forgot to say that Moon had, I think, one of the best Easter eggs ever. So, the Wonder Weapon, I think, is a saving grace for this map. It's, before it was nerfed, it was without a doubt the best Wonder Weapon ever. But then they nerfed it, but it's still really good. So, yeah. Where's it at? Mob of the Dead. Mob of the Dead. It's better than Moon. Again, I think it's another near perfect map. It has an amazing setting, which they actually went to Alcatraz Island, took a bunch of pictures, and made it into a zombies map, which is amazing. Two, the cast, similar to Call of the Dead, they had a complete like celebrity cast. They had Ray Liotta, what's his name, Michael Finn. They had a bunch of like gangster kind of guys, actors into this map, and they were all like iconic characters too. They had like Salvador, Weasel, Finn, and Billy. You were on Alcatraz Island. You had the Warden, which was a big zombie police guy. They had the Blundergat, which can be turned into like 4 different ones. You had the Blundergat, the Acid Gat, and then you had the Pack-a-Punch Blundergat and the Pack-a-Punch Acid Gat. Introduced Electric Cherry, which I think is a really good perk as well. They had the Afterlife system, which in solo was pretty cool. Co-op was also pretty cool. And the Easter egg for this map, also really good. At the end, as long as there's, I think at the end, if there's somebody who plays Weasel, it's like a 1v3 or a 1v whatever. Because I think there's 2 different endings, where Weasel kills everybody or where Weasel is killed. The Pack-a-Punch, I think, is also really iconic. You get to build a plane and fly it to the Golden Gate Bridge, and that's where Pack-a-Punch is. So, honestly, just playing this map is amazing. The Mob of the Dead, the scenery, just everything about this map, I think, is really, really good. And I think it's probably one of the best maps of all time. I think it is the best map of all time. So, yeah. Next up is Buried. Where is Buried at? I'm going to say it's a great map. The setting of it is kind of weird. The Easter egg, I honestly don't remember much about the Easter egg. It's like a wet underground western town, which is cool. They had the LSAT and the wall and the spawn, which is like a sneaky way to get a good gun before the round. They introduced Vulture's Aid, which allows you to see perks through walls and like the box and stuff, as well as pick up ammo on the ground from zombies and stay in this like stink cloud that keeps you from getting hit from zombies. The Wonder Weapon for this map was a Purifier, which is basically what the jet gun was trying to be but failed. So they also had a bunch of like map exclusive weapons. The revolvers was, I thought, really cool, and I'm surprised that like that hasn't even come back to any of the other maps. So the layout of it is pretty decent. The Leroy character, where if you feed him booze or candy, he'll help you out, open up new areas and stuff. and the witch's house. How to get the Pack-a-Punch is probably the scariest way. You have to go through this like haunted house where this witch comes out of nowhere, and if you get hit by her, she steals like 2,000 points away from you. So you have to go in there with kind of like a little extra money or points to actually at least afford it. And if you go out there without getting hit once, you actually get rewarded with a free perk. So it's a good map. I think it's a great map actually. So yeah, I had a lot of fun memories on this map. So next up is Origins. Where are you at? Why can I not find Origins? There it is. Oh god. I think it's also a great map. When this map first came out, I'm not gonna lie, I hated on this map because there was so much crap that you had to worry about. You had to worry about the giant robots, the Panzer, and then the Templar zombies that turns off your generators. The wonder weapon for this map is wonder weapons. There's 4 different types of wonder weapons you can build. The fire, wind, ice, and electric staff or lightning staff. I think this map started becoming like a staple for every zombies map going forward, where you had a boss zombie that comes in, just kind of powerful every couple rounds. You had elemental, buildable, and free wonder weapons you can get, and you had these like multiple power sections. So the layout of this map is pretty cool. The mud is kind of annoying. The Templar zombies especially are annoying. The Easter egg I heard is really good, and it's the first Easter egg you can do solo. The wonder weapons are iconic. Don't get me wrong, but I think this map is also the start of the same copy and paste wonder weapons for a bunch of maps going forward, and I'll get into it later on some of these maps, but I think this map I think also started like the downfall of zombies, if that makes sense, because every map after this one came out, and it's so evidently obvious that every map is trying to be like Origins, but most of them don't even like succeed. So I think it's a great map. I don't think it's better than Moon or Mob, but it's up there. So after Black Ops 2, it was Extinction. Oh boy. I can't remember the first map for Extinction, but I will say this: I have never played any of the Extinction DLCs because I played it. I think it's Mayday, and then there's another one. No, Infections of Exo Nightfall, and then where's the first one? Am I dumb? I might be dumb. I can't find it. Oh, Point of Contact. I would definitely put it in bad. I don't think it's painful. I think the concept of it was really cool, but the execution of it. So Infinity Ward, this was Infinity Ward's answer to zombies. I think what they should have done was remove the whole objective-based game mode and turn it into a survival, because I think that's what made a lot of people kind of not like this game mode. All you did was you grab this drill, carry it to like 3 different points, and defend it, and then that's it. That's how you beat the map. I do wish it was a survival mode, but it wasn't, so it kind of sucks. I don't really have that many memories of it because I've only really played this map, so yeah. Next one is Exo Zombies, right? Yeah, Exo Zombies. I'm going to say this right now. I've never played any of them because what they did was... No, Outbreak. Where's the other one? Descent, and there's one more. It's a Carrier. There it is. Oh. I've never really played any of the Exo Zombies maps because what they did was that they started the game off with a survival mode. Basically, if you beat every survival map and all the way to the last one, which I think is a prison, if you get to like round 10 or something, it turns into like a zombie. Like, instead of getting AI soldiers, you get zombies chasing after you, and then you get a whole cutscene that teases the zombies mode. The thing is that they never came out with the zombies map after you beat it. Well, they did, but it's locked as a DLC. So I never played any of the zombies DLCs because they locked it behind the season pass or the DLCs. You had to pay $15 to play at least one of these maps, which I thought was stupid because, like, why start off survival and then turn into a zombies game mode? It would have been so nice if you beat the prison map, you get a zombies map afterwards as like a secret thing, but you never did. So I never played any of the Exo Zombies. I don't know how they are. I've yet to like watch any videos on it, so I have no opinion on it. Next up was Black Ops 3. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. Shadows of Evil, I think, is a very lackluster map. I never got into this map. Probably people are going to call me a casual for this, but this map was like the most hated map when it launched, and I was one of them, and I still to this day hate this map. When I looked at it, I was like, this isn't zombies, because you had stupid aliens, the squid tentacle monsters, you had meatballs, you had the mosquito things, the Reaper got the squid in the air. I don't know. Everything about this doesn't scream zombies to me. And of course, they had such an amazing cast. They had Ron Perlman and the guy from Jurassic Park. I forgot, Jeff Goldblum. I don't know. They had such an amazing cast. I'm like, why? I don't care. The wonder weapon is, honestly, it's the best wonder weapon, but it's an alien that you insert an orb into his butt cheeks and he shoots out a black hole. Like, what? To me, this map, the setting is cool and all, but the aliens and stuff it just throws me off of this map. The Margaret, I think, sucks. The mosquitoes are incredibly annoying. Nobody wants to play zombies. You get shot at by something. The meatballs are also, like, who designed it? I don't understand who designed meatballs. So I don't know. I never really liked this map. Nothing will change my mind. I don't care what people say about it. I don't care if people say, oh, it's got the best wonder weapon, one of the better Easter eggs. You just suck at it. No, I just don't like the map. It's too much. The rituals make zero sense. The stupid worm things. Also was the first map to introduce a boss fight. I will give them that. I heard the Easter egg is really cool, but other than that, it's just not a fun map for me to play on. Next map is the Giant. I'm going to put it in average. I definitely do think Derice is better. Basically, just Black Ops 3, I think, ruined Derice, made it incredibly easy with the whole Gobblegums, and they had the randomized perk in this. Plus, you can get a secret, like, 6th perk on the map, 6/7th perk, because you can get either Stamina Up, which is like a dumb perk for this map, or you can get Deadshot. So, yeah. Basically, the exact same thing as Derice, but in Black Ops 3, so. The first DLC for Black Ops 3 was the Rise and Drag. It's definitely a great map. This is, I think, the second map to introduce the elementals. You can kind of see this whole thing becoming way too much like Origins. I should also mention that Shadows of Evil introduced Widow's Wine, which I don't think they should have introduced it in this map. I think they should have introduced it in Zetsubou, so I don't know why they introduced it in that map. I'll get into that later. Rise and Drag, I think, is a really good map. The Panzers got brought back. This had the really, really good boss fight, really challenging boss fight. The Easter egg was pretty good. The setting of it, you're like in a castle, like a modernized castle, I guess. The wonder weapons were these bows. So you can get like a regular bow, like an explosive bow, and then you get like elemental bows. So I think there was a void, a wolf, and a fire, and a lightning bow. Again, similar to Origins, you get them all for free by just doing a bunch of stuff for it. Like the Origins, you build it. This one, I think, has the Mob of the Dead, like dog things. You collect all 3 of them, you get the bow, and then you have to do a bunch of steps to get the elemental ones. So, honestly, it's a good map. It's a fun map to play on. So, yeah. Next up is Zetsubou. I think this is an average map. I've recently played it like a couple days ago. Basically, you're on like a Pacific island, and I do love the setting. Like, there's like a bunkers, and it's a creepy setting, which is really nice. They added the KT4, which is like a port. It's like the Walmart Slicker Fire. They had Thrashers, which was a more realistic take on Margwas, I think. They also had spiders as like the dog round, which is pretty cool. What's annoying though is that they shoot back at you and they like lock down areas, kind of, not really. But one thing I do love about this map is a spider boss. It's something that I think should have been the final boss instead of the whole Easter egg boss thing. And also, I think the spider boss should have revealed and introduced Widow's Wine, because like that's actually in the map. If you kill the spider boss, after it dies, you can run across, and right next to her body is Widow's Wine perk. So I'm like, why isn't Widow's Wine introduced in this map? Honestly, it's a challenging map. Kind of, not really. They added the whole plant versus zombies thing, which is also really annoying. The Thrashers, I also, even though I just praised them, I think are really annoying too. So there was just so much crap you got to do on this map. It's just like kind of annoying, and I think that's why it's an average map. So yeah. Next up, what came after Zetsubou? It was Revelations, right? No. Am I dumb? I might be. I think I just skipped another map. Did I? What came after Horizon Drag? No, it was Zetsubou. And then it was Grog Krovi. Oh, I'm dumb. I think it's a good map. I'm not saying it's great. I think it's good. I think the only thing that's stopping it from going to great are their stupid robot, whatever they're called. I don't know what those things are called, but they are also really annoying. They had, I'm going to say this, they had the ray gun Mark III in it, where if you shoot one, you had like a black hole, and then you had a ray gun in one hand, but if you combine the two, you can turn it into like a black hole gun or whatever. I don't know. It's a really good map. You're in Stalingrad, you had like a mech suit in the Easter egg. Probably the best, everyone's saying it's the best boss fight in the Easter egg. The dragon is pretty cool. Honestly, just, it's a pretty good map. I'm not gonna, there's nothing else to say about it, but other than the fact that it's a good map. So Revelations, I've honestly never played it, and to this day I don't know what it's like. I know that basically what it was is that they put together a bunch of maps and kind of put them into one. So they had like Knocked, Mob, Horizon Drag, Verruckt. What else do they have? I don't know what other maps they had. Origins, maybe. I don't know. They had a bunch of maps combined. Oh, whoops! Maps combined into one. Black Ops 3 was the first year where Call of Duty kind of switched to PlayStation, and I had the Xbox at the time. So by the time I think this map came out, the next COD was out for both Xbox and PlayStation, and I switched over to PlayStation because I hated the Xbox One. And I honestly completely forgot about this map, and I didn't really care for it. And plus, everyone was saying it was like just a dumb map, so I never really played it, so I have no opinion on it. Next up is Infinite Warfare. Zombies in Spaceland. I'm gonna say it's a great map. This is easily the best Zombies map ever that hasn't been made by Treyarch. It's a fun. These maps are great, only because the fact that they don't take themselves seriously. And this one had, it's called Zombies in Spaceland, where you're in a theme park. Again, really cool idea. You get to ride roller coasters and do all these stupid arcade games. You have a big boss, David Hasselhoff's in it. You even have aliens that come in, and like it's actual like aliens like you would see like in a fake live leak video. But the thing is, they don't take themselves seriously, where I know Shadows of Evil had aliens, but they took themselves seriously, and that's what I think didn't. One of the things I didn't like. Zombies in Spaceland was a really, really fun game mode. Unfortunately, every other DLC I heard sucked. I never played it, so got Beast from Beyond, Raven of Red Woods. I don't know what the other map was. Is it not? Oh, Shadow and Shovel. I never played any of the DLC maps because I never played Infinite Warfare. I mean, I did just to play zombies, but I played on WR, so yeah. After Infinite Warfare was World War II. Oh boy. Final Reich, I think, was a lackluster map. The World War II Zombies, I think, had probably the best. I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to make a lot of people mad. World War II Zombies had probably the best looking and the scariest zombies out of all the games. Basically, they were just experimented Nazis, I think. So, it was a very creepy zombies game mode, but the map, I think, itself wasn't as great. Yes, it's good. I think it's better than Shino Numa and all these other maps, but I think just World War II Zombies in general just kind of wasn't it. Everything was so slow. The zombie types are really annoying as well. The whole Blitz thing was just call them perks. Like, nobody cares. They tried to be extremely. They tried to be so different that they like renamed everything into something German. And I'm like, just call it whatever you want to call it. Don't call it like Garosku or whatever. Just call it armor. Just call it perks instead of Blitz. It was stupid. I never really liked World War II Zombies. And I'm doing it. Darkest Shore, easily the worst map ever. I would play it over Bus Depot. When I played this map when it first came out, I hated the fog, and I was so nauseous and I was disoriented. I almost passed out playing this stupid map because of the fog. I've only played it once and I never touched it again after that. Tortured Path, I hate. This is probably the worst DLC ever made for World War II, and I think they should have never done this, like something like this ever. Basically, what happened was, instead of getting one map, you got, actually, Shadow Throne came out before. It's still a painful map. Actually, I'm putting it above Darkest Shore. Tortured Path, what they did was, instead of one big round-based map, you got 3 small survival maps. The thing is that you can only play the first one. The other 2 were locked, so you had to beat the first survival map in order to unlock the second survival map, or unlock it as a survival map. Basically, what you did was, I think you did 15 to 20 rounds of challenges. So this was the gauntlet before Black Ops 4 added the gauntlet. As a solo player at the time, they were incredibly challenging and hard, and I never to this day got to unlock the second or third DLC map. I will always hate this DLC because who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to hey, let's release a $15 DLC map, but instead of just one map, let's add 3 maps, and you can only unlock the second and third map by completing the challenge, which is incredibly and stupidly hard. Probably the worst DLC ever, and I'd rather kill myself before I play this ever again. Frozen Dawn, never played it because I deleted the game after this DLC came out. Next up is Black Ops 4. Oh boy. I don't know how I'm going to rate these maps. I'm just going to do Voyage of Despair. It's a bad map. They took a really, really good setting and kind of ruined it. You're on a Titanic, which I thought was really, really cool, but that was it. That's the only redeeming quality of this map. They also added a wonder weapon, which I thought was a really cool idea. It was like a cannon, like a miniature cannon that you can shoot from the hip. But of course, they have to add elementals to it. I'm gonna say that a lot in this next 5 minutes. they added elemental upgrades to the wonder weapon, which I hated, and plus the BO4 mechanics. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna also say this a lot. The BO4 mechanics suck. I think BO4 probably has the worst zombies out of all the Treyarch games, and I've rather actually. Yeah, I don't know, I'll get into that later. The BO4 mechanics sucked. I'm going to be honest, they sucked. The 4 perk, and you can pick the 4 perks, are stupid. Wonder Weapon was stupid. The elemental zombies I thought was stupid as well. The boss zombies on this map are also pretty stupid as well. The croaker or something like that, I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember this map much because I never really played it. Next up is 9. I think it's a great map. I think it's better than Zombies in Spaceland. I think it's better than Buried. Actually, no. I think it's also a good beginner's map as well. You're in a gladiator ring, which is pretty cool. You have 4. You're in a gladiator ring, and then there's 4 different sections, and an underground section where Pack-a-Punch is. So directly underneath the gladiator ring is Pack-a-Punch. Each 4 sections have 1 perk and like 1 part of something. Honestly, this map is, I think, really good, and sure, the gladiator ring is huge and it's pretty easy to train on. They have these fire like pits that open up, and if you step in it, you get burned. The Easter egg I heard is really, really good. I never did it, but I watched it. The boss zombies, it's the gladiator, and then the charger. I don't know. It's a guy with like knives, and there's a guy with throwing axes and stuff. It's honestly, this map is really good. The wonder weapon's kind of whack, but other than that, it's a really good map. I'm not gonna lie. Next up is Blood of the Dead. It is a painful map. I think this map sucked, and it was a huge disappointment. They had basically, this was a remap. They brought back the original cast of characters, but in the they remastered Mob of the Dead and called it Blood of the Dead, and put the map in BO4 mechanics, which sucks because just BO4, everything BO4 sucked, and I think that's also what ruined this map. I heard the Easter egg was really bad. The map is basically exactly like Mob of the Dead, but the thing is, they removed so many things that made Mob of the Dead so fun and so great, and just got rid of it. The Pack-a-Punch, the way to get Pack-a-Punch in this game, I think is so lame, and it's not as cool as Mob of the Dead. You have to like, they removed Afterlife and put it into a shield in this map. Like, why? Just bring back Afterlife. Just everything about this map sucks, and I'm going to say this because I've seen a lot of people say this. This map would be really good if Mob of the Dead didn't exist, but because that map exists, this map sucks. So I know they introduced the Magma Gap, which I thought was really cool, another elemental upgrade. So honestly, this map sucks. It's a painful map. Classified, I think it is a good map. I'm going to say that right now. I think it's better than 5. I would rather play it over all these maps. This is, I think, what a remaster should have been. They added a couple new areas to 5. Unfortunately, I will admit they did remove the Pentagon Thief, which is kind of sad in my opinion. But they added a couple new areas in 5, like an office building and like a server room, and I think they made Pack-a-Punch even better on this map than 5. Basically, it's the same setup except you got to find parts instead. Like I said, the BO4 mechanics just ruin everything. You can't just open up DEF CON. You got to find parts to build a teleporter to get the Pack-a-Punch. Basically, it was just you build a bunch of parts, go build a teleporter, you do the DEF CON thing, and you get teleported to Area 51, the starting room for Moon, except it's before the events of Moon. So it's all like under construction. There's a bunch of crap laying around. But that's where Pack-a-Punch is, and I thought that was really cool. They brought back the Winter's Howl, and I think they buffed it pretty good on this map. So other than that, I think it's better than 5. Unfortunately, it's BO4, so that kind of sucks. Dead of the Night. I think it is easily one of the most forgettable maps ever, and I'm going to put it in lackluster. I never really liked this map. They had, again, in every Zombies map, they have a really cool cast of characters. They had Tywin Lannister from freaking Game of Thrones as a character in this map, which was cool. But they made the characters really annoying. The setting of this map, you're in a mansion, which is cool. But there's also so much crap you gotta do on this map. You have to get silver bullets. There's like a stake as a melee weapon. There's a crossbow you gotta do. For the wonder weapon, which, keep in mind, is an elemental based wonder weapon. It's like their answer to the ray gun, which I thought was stupid. They added werewolves, probably the worst dog / zombies ever, which is the vampires. Just, this map sucks. I never really want to play it ever. Everything, just, there's so much crap you gotta do, and just, it wasn't fun. I'm gonna be honest, it just wasn't fun. Next up was Ancient Evil. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I think it's a lackluster map. I think it's a really disappointing map for me. I never really liked the setting. I was not hyped for this map at all. Probably because Dead of the Night and all the Chaos storyline maps are so boring and bad. It's just, I never really cared about this map. I've honestly only played it like twice and I got bored of it. They added, what did they do? It was just an underground Roman city. Wow. That's honestly all I remember. I know the wonder weapons are the gauntlets, and guess what? There's elemental upgrades for it. So, hooray for that. That's all I remember. I know the Easter egg was pretty cool for the map, so. But honestly, that's all I remember. I never really enjoyed Ancient Evil, so. Alpha Omega is definitely a bad map. This was a remaster of Nuketown Zombies, which I'm surprised isn't on here, because I would definitely put it in a good category. Yeah, Alpha Omega, just, it wasn't fun for me. They brought back the Ultimus and Primus characters and kind of combined them into one map, which was cool. They added a whole new like neighborhood section and an underground section to Nuketown. They brought back the Avogadro and then the Nova 6 crawlers, but there's, guess what, elementals. They brought back the Ray Gun Mark II, but guess what, elementals. You got to build everything on this map. Honestly, this map was just boring to play. I never really played it much. Tag der Toten. Honestly, I never really cared about this. I thought it was a lackluster map. It's BO4. I forgot Groston House was here. I'm going to put it in lackluster. Actually, no, I'm just going to put it in haven't played, because I know you have to unlock, whatchamacallit, you have to beat the Easter egg to unlock this house or map, so I was like, oh, whatever. Tag der Toten, it was a remaster of Call of the Dead, so I wasn't interested in it. They brought back the, this was the Victus characters, which was the transit crew. Basically, it was Call of the Dead, but you can actually see, and there's colors in it. They brought back the Thunder Gun. They added a Wunderwaffe variant called it was a sniper variant of it, which is weird, because I'm like, why don't you just bring back the Scavenger? And they added, guess what, an elemental upgrade of the Thunder Gun called the Tundra Gun. I think this map sucks, too. They removed everything that made Call of the Dead so great and kind of just whatever. So, yeah, I honestly don't have many memories of playing any BO4 map because they all sucked. Next up is D Machine. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I think D Machine is a very bad map. I don't think Cold War Zombies is that great of a game. I think it's very, very boring. So, D Machine was basically knocked, plus the whole outside area and an underground bunker. The one weapon was like a broke man's thunder gun with, guess what? Oh, elemental upgrades. You gotta love those. Honestly, this map is just boring for me. It's a small map, I think, so I never really enjoyed this map. It's just boring to me. It's just a knocked remake. Next up is Outbreak. Easily the worst thing Torture Path was worse. Outbreak is probably the worst thing they could have ever done for zombies. It's a nice concept, don't get me wrong, like a large-scale open-world free-roaming zombies game mode. But my god, it is so boring to play. You have the same objectives over and over and over again. The maps aren't even like zombie exclusive. They are Fireteam maps cut down to be a zombies map. It's so stupid. Unfortunately, because it exists, I think because of Outbreak, we haven't got many round-based maps on Cold War Zombies, which I thought was just stupid because they just kept adding crap to Outbreak instead of adding new round-based maps. So honestly, Outbreak sucks. I hate it. It's so boring, and they could have done so much more with it. But yeah. Next up, Firebase Z. I think it is a average map. I definitely will play it over those two maps. It's a really nice setting. You're in Vietnam, like at a base in Vietnam. The raid K is pretty cool. The Easter egg is pretty easy to do, and it's just there's a theme of Cold War. The Easter eggs are all easy to do. Honestly, this map is just a generic Origins copy, but you're set in Vietnam, so yeah. There's no elemental upgrades this time, except you have the direct copy of the ray gun Mark III from Gorod Krovi. So, but instead it's an AK. So, yeah. It's just an average map. Mauer Toten, I would say it's also an average map. I definitely think Firebase is better than maybe, I don't know. I'll probably put it there. Mauer Toten just came out like last month. It's just, to me, it's whatever. The Easter egg is also pretty easy to do. The boss fight is the hardest out of all the boss fights in Cold War. The wonder weapon was just a space laser with, I'm playing, there's no elemental upgrades, but there's different like weapon types. There's a grenade launcher, a laser beam, and a shotgun variant of it, which is cool. So, yeah, there's not much to say about Cold War Zombies. They're all just really boring to play, and they don't really, each map doesn't really introduce anything but a new wonder weapon. Yeah, sure, Firebase introduced Tombstone and then Mauer introduced Mule Kick, but like nobody cares about that because you can just get it on every map now or whatever, so it's whatever. This is my official list. There's obviously a bunch of maps I haven't played for good reason. Many World War II maps, many Exo Zombies, Extinction, and Infinite Warfare maps. A couple like bangers in there too, like Revelations and Groston House. So yeah, this is my official list. I think is the most perfect list you ever see. Now this is honestly my opinion. My top 10 would probably go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So obviously my top 10 Zombies maps would be Classified at number 10, number 9 Ascension, number 8 Gorod Krovi, number 7 Zombies of Spaceland, number 6 is 9, number 5 is Buried, number 4 Horizon Drag, number 3 Origins, number 2 Moon, and number 1 being Mob of the Dead. So yeah, that's basically it. I think this is a pretty decent list. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with probably Shadows of Evil and maybe Ancient Evil, but other than that, this is it. This is my list. Deal with it, my opinion. So, yeah.